Yo, what is going on, everyone? Thank you for checking out the channel today. Today we are going to be going over Xander Pero's future Lost Box deck that he used to get top 128 at Orlando Regionals. This is a really unique twist on an old archetype that has, stood the test of time. I really like the approach that Xander took on this list, and it's actually pretty reminiscent of an idea that one of my friends was toying with at the start of the rotation. So as soon as I saw this, I knew that I had to cover it. But yeah, real quick, just wanted to give him the shout out before we dive deep into the list. So here is the expanded list. We have the relatively standard package for Lost Box of the 4 Comfey, 1 Sableye, 1 Cramorant. Cramorant gets that free 110 in if you have 4 in the Lost Zone. Sableye gets to spread 12 damage counters if you have 10 in the Lost Zone. And then Comfey, once per turn per Comfey, as long as it is in the active, you get to look at the top 2 cards, put 1 in the Lost Zone, 1 in your hand. This is great cycle, great consistency, great dig, great card. And then the last kind of consistency one prizer that we are choosing to play is the Radiant Greninja. This is kind of the last little bit of the standard Lost Zone package that we typically see. Radiant Greninja is a way to kind of give Lost Zone a lot of what it's missing. It gets energies out of the hand, draws more cards, and it can take multiple prizes in one turn, which are all things that Lost Box is trying to do. And then as far as the box aspect of the deck, we do have 1 Minior, which in tandem with the super effective glasses, which makes all weakness be applied to 3 or 2 times 3 for the Pokemon that it is attached to, means that a Minior can one-shot in Iron Hands, which is something that Lost Box needs to take into consideration in this format. Iron Hands has become more prevalent than ever, so if you are playing a Lost Box variant, you do need to have an answer to an early Iron Hands. And speaking of the big bad, we are playing Iron Hands ourselves because the card is just that good. And because Mirage Gate is one of the most broken energy accelerants we've ever had in the game, it is super easy to power up Amp You very much. You can even use Arm Press. It's not likely we'll be able to get it off. Whoa. But it's definitely an option. And then we are actually playing a couple more future Pokemon. We do have an additional future attacker with Iron Valiant EX. This is in here for a couple reasons. First, that Tachyon Bits ability, letting us place additional damage counters every time it pivots to the active, is really key. It helps us set up some really cute knockouts with Sableye. And the Tachyon Bits in tandem with Laser Blade, which does 200 damage, actually lets us KO 220 EXs relatively efficiently, which is really nice. And then we are actually playing an Iron Crown EX as well. If this is on the bench, then that means we can use Amp You very much for 140, which will allow it to KO things like Pidgeot and Lugia, which means we can take 3 prizes against those. And it'll also let Iron Valiant hit base 220 without the Tachyon Bits, which means that with the Tachyon Bits, it can actually hit 240, which is another way to respond to an Iron Hands. And then its attack is actually kind of relevant with Twin Shottles. It can do 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. And because we are playing Sableye and we do have the Tachyon Bits, we can actually spread a decent amount of damage, and we can end up taking multiple prizes in one turn if we set it up correctly. And according to Xander, that's actually the playline that you go for against like something like Lost Tina, where you will take 2 prizes and then you will just spread damage and leave your opponent or leave yourself at 4 prizes, so that way your opponent can't Roxanne you. And then you will just take all 4 prizes in one turn by using the Valiant Ping to clean up a prize, and then using Amp You very much to take 3. And then the last box attacker we are playing is the Shaman V. It is in here for Revenge Blast, which does 60 plus 40 more for each prize your opponent has taken. If your opponent has taken 3 prizes and you are playing against Charizard, then this will one-shot a Charizard EX. So this is the typical playline, or the typical answer to the Zard matchup. You'll cram for 1, Shaman for or you'll cram for 1, and then you'll use the hands on the Pidgeot for 2, most likely, and then you'll Shaman for 2, and then you can use Sableye to clean up and take 1. You can throw in, you know, some crown KOs on Pidgeys early. You can take 3 prizes with hands. So basically, that's actually, sorry, that's the way you do it. You go 1, 3, 2, and then you just kind of clean up from there, because that's, you know, that's 6 right there. So it's 1, 3, 2. And then the last support Pokemon, we're playing 1 Lumineon V as another body for the Forest Seal Stone, but also as an additional way to find Colress's Experiment. We are not playing Pokestop, so Pokegear is a lot less valuable in a build like this. And so having just, you know, the Lumineon to act as the body for the stone and as a guaranteed way to find Colress is really nice. And then because we are Lost Box, we do kind of have to play Manaphy. Because of our Comphase and our Sableye, we are very susceptible to something like a Radiant Greninja's Moonlight Shuriken. As for the supporters, we are just playing the 4 Colress's Experiment, which is pretty standard, and the 1 Roxanne, which is also relatively standard. Stadiums, we are playing 1 Artisan and 1 Town Store. We do have 3 tools for the Town Store, so this is a pretty good inclusion. The 1 Artisan is really good for, you know, finding our 1 prize attackers and support mons. As far as the tools goes, we do have the 1 Forest Stone, as mentioned before, the 1 Super Effective Glasses, and then the standard 1 of Rescue Board, which lets us have a free pivot with Comfey. As far as the trainers go, we do have the 4 Mirage Gate, best energy accelerant in the game. We have 4 Super Rod for recovery. We just want to kind of max out on this because we do have some pretty high energy attackers. You know, like Crown's 3, Valiant's 3, Hands is 4 to 3. Greninja's 3, so we really need to make sure that we have access to our Pokemon, to our energies at the right time. So we really just want to play 4 Super Rod. And then the last 4 we are playing is 4 Switch Cart along with 3 regular Switch for a total of 7 switching outs. You kind of need to play these so we can cycle Comphase more efficiently. And these also go in tandem with the Iron Valiant EX to help us trigger Tachyon Bits. And then as far as consistency cards go, we do have the 3 Buddy Buddy Poffin, which will help us grab Comfey. But in this build, they do have additional targets in things like the Minior and the Manaphy. We have 3 Nest Ball, which will help us grab our big attackers and our Radiant Greninja. And then we have subbed in 1 Ultra Ball as a way to grab Lumineon, and an additional way to thin the hand out of dead cards to play around things like Iono. And then the standard 1 of Hisuian Heavy Ball. This is pretty standard because, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 1 of Pokemon. Odds are we're probably going to need one of those out of the prizes. And then lastly, to round out the trainers, we do have 2 Lost Vacuum. We are playing a total of 5 cards that we can vacuum on our own side to give us that additional push to hit 7 or 10. So this is a really good include. This also is a way to get rid of things like ancient booster capsules and heavy batons to make certain matchups more easy for us to navigate. And then we are playing 1 counter catcher in the prime catcher ace spec as gusting effects. Xander did say that the counter catcher was relatively useless. However, he would not drop it for a hard boss because the counter catcher does have its niche scenarios where you actually will need it in order to close out certain matchups. And then the energy, it's playing 3 water, 3 psychic, 2 electric, and 1 grass. We're only playing the 1 grass because we only need it for the shaman. Playing the 2 electric just because we're really only going to need 1 for hands, but sometimes we'll use arm press, so we do want the second. And then 3 psychic and 3 water because both Greninja and Valiant take 2 of their respective colored energies, and we really need to try and draw 1 of these if we're trying to attack with these, so that way we can just resolve 1 Mirage Gate instead of needing to resolve 2. Yeah guys, that's the list we're going to go ahead and rock with today. Remember, if you do enjoy this kind of content, to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and then go ahead and leave me a comment down below what your favorite iteration of Lost Box has been. I remember I was a big fan of Lost Charizard EX when it first came out. It felt like that deck had a lot of power, and I think that that deck might actually be kind of a sleeper pick right now as far as Lost Zone variants go. It does seem like it has a really good response into Iron Hands, and you know, it takes advantage of Zard's big natural bulk. But yeah, guys, that's my favorite Lost Box variant, and then I'm going to go ahead and see you in the gameplay. Alrighty, guys, it does look like we found our opponent for the day. Hopefully we will get to call the coin flip and go first. I found that Lost Box typically tends to want to go first. Getting the extra cycle for cards on the Lost Zone is pretty huge. There are certain instances where going second is better if you are trying to get the turn 1 cram. Alrighty, we did win the coin flip, and we are going to go first. Hopefully we start a Comfey. We started Manaphy, but we do have an Artisan to grab a Comfey. And we are playing a Lost Zone Mirror. We love seeing early Mirage Gates. Those are my favorites. Okay. We prize the hands. We have the supporters. We prize the gate. Two super rod, a rod, a switch, 3/3. So we have all the energies. We prize the Forest Stone. We prize the Forest Stone. So switch and Forest Stone. Okay. Stone. Switch. Okay. We're gonna switch into the Comfey. Going to flower selecting. We're going to grab another Comfey. We're going to attach. It might have been better to actually grab the Nest Ball there and Nest Ball out another Comfey just to get more cards out of the deck. Wow. Both of these are relatively useless, but the switch we're gonna need next turn. So our opponent very realistically can get to 4 this turn and hit us with a Cramorant, especially since we gave them the Artisan, which is the out to the second Comfey or the Cramorant, and they just had the Buddy Buddy Poffin. So they are probably going to minimum grab Comfey. I would not be surprised to see a Manaphy as well, because I think all they really care about on this turn is getting at least 4. And then they kind of want to protect themselves from Greninja. Although I only got a 2 cycle, which means that the Comfey will put me to 3, a Chorus would put me to 5, and then a Vacuum would put me to 7. So it's not unlikely that I hit 7. So they did grab double Comfey. They got rid of a Mirage Gate, so that must have been a really important second card. Part of me wants to think that the Nest Ball was the card that they just picked, because I feel like you would Nest Ball before you flower selecting, at which point that's kind of a curious grab. Okay, so they are probably playing Tina, because most like normal Lost Box lists don't play Jet Energies. You usually only see Jet Energy in Tina variants. There was an Ultra Ball, so this is looking more and more like a Tina variant. Our opponent hasn't even used the Artisan yet. They want a Roxanne, which is good to see. They found a Chorus, so I feel like they probably hit the Chorus and the Roxanne, because Roxanne is usually a card you want to keep in the mirror match. There went the Bennett. So yeah, this looks like Isaiah Bradner's EUIC list. They do Nest Ball for the Tina V. And pass. Okay, so they didn't even use the Artisan. I'm going to save the Artisan. Holy wow. We're going to switch. Now I'm going to Artisan for the Cramorant because I hit the other Comfey. I need a way to switch. I think I have to take the Lumineon. As much as I don't want to. Because I would really like to resolve a Colress. Okay. I think it's these. Although, if I don't take this, if I do it like this, I have the knockout on 2 Comfeys, which feels really good, right? No, I just lost them to water. So I would have to discard. No, I should be fine. Yeah, this should be fine. Because I don't believe I prize the water. So we can do this. We're at 6, so we can vacuum, get rid of the glasses, get rid of the Artisan. And then we can Mirage Gate, grab a water, and a Psychic. I am going to actually have to use the second Mirage Gate, which kind of makes me want to use the Greninja. Yeah, I'm gonna use the Greninja. It does mean I have to use the Super Rod, but I think that's fine. And then we're gonna Mirage Gate these in play. We're gonna grab Greninja and the grass here. I think manually retreating is better. And then I'm gonna go for the Shuriken. We're gonna go here and here. Get rid of the water and the Psychic. And then we hit Mirage Gate Super Rod. Those were very good. Hit Gate Super Rod. I have prized Iron Hands almost every single game that I've played with this deck, which is just insane. So now what we want to do here is probably cram the Giratina and then Sableye, put 50 on a Comfey, and maybe even 60, and then the rest on the Tina, so that way we can set up for these Sableye plays. Okay, so they're gonna boss KO Cram. Okay, so what are we gonna need to finish out this game? The plan is to, I mean, they did get rid of Roxanne, and if this is Bradner's list, then they only play 1 Roxanne. So we actually don't need to play around the Roxanne now that I'm like thinking about it. So we are down 2 Mirage Gates, so the hands is probably out of the question. I feel like if we can use the Valiant to KO the Tina this turn, That would be kind of good. We could also use Greninja again, KO the Comfey, put 20 on the Cram, so that way then we can ping KO the Cram and potentially the Giratina. I don't hate that either. Well, that was an easy choice. Yeah, I really don't hate the Greninja idea, because their turn was relatively kind of not good. So I think I am actually going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to put these back. We're going to Mirage Gate, grab these. We're going to switch cards. I'm going to just play the Poffin just to get it out of my hand. And I'm going to Shuriken again. Go 90-90. Now we need to find the last Mirage Gate. The Forest Stone is kind of cute with the Lumineon being on the bench still. Did we get rid of... No, okay, so we still have access to the Iron Crown. Because we will need the Iron Crown to KO the Tina. Yeah, of course. So we have hands and a switch prize. Okay, well there's the Tina V-Star, which is unfortunate. I feel like we're about to get a Prime Catcher on our Lumineon. Yeah, this is screaming Prime Catcher Lumineon, which is really unfortunate. Do they not have... No, they don't have enough for Star Requiem yet. I would ideally really like to attack with Sableye this turn. Okay, there's another Tina V. So now the 3-prize turn is open again. Okay, yeah, there's the Prime Catcher. How many? So I still have all of my switching carts, but I'm out of switches. So I only have 3 switches left in the deck, 4 with the Prime Catcher. It's really unfortunate that this is the turn that the Lumineon got KO'd, because it's the turn that I got the Forest Stone. We're gonna promote Comfey. Got a useless Buddy Poffin. There's the Prime Catcher. But that unfortunately means our turn is basically over. I mean, maybe not. So my only play is to nest ball for the Shaman and grab... It might even just be grab Roxanne. The rest of my hand is so bad. Because in order for me to attack with Sableye, I would need to find Sableye, a way to retreat, and the psychic energy. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the Roxanne. I could go for the Prime Catcher, so that way I can promote the Greninja. Have the retreat. I don't hate that. We're gonna play the Poffin, and then we're gonna Roxanne. Okay, well, we have the Sableye. I believe I'm out of tools because there's the Forest Stone. Oh no, I have the rescue board. I don't need the board at the moment. I'm gonna Ultra Ball away the Crown. I need to resolve the Mirage Gate. I'd like to keep the Colress. I guess it's the Town Store. We're gonna Ultra Ball, grab Sableye. And then we have... So we don't need to put the energies back. Maybe there's a world where we finish with Shaman. Like we get the last 2 prizes with the Shaman V. Okay, so 20 here. If they take 1 more prize, then Shaman is doing an extra 160, which would be 220. So that's enough to KO the Tina V, which means we only need 60 here. Then it's 180. So if I would have used the Super Rod to put the grass energy back in, I could have threatened the game right now by having the grass on the Shaman. Okay, so if we get grass energy, we win. I do know that the grass energy is right here. So I think I'm going to Super Rod, put in 2 energies. I mean, I have 1 energy left in the deck. So I'm actually just going to put the grass in. And we're going to go for Colress. Okay, we hit this and these. So it would literally have to be the last card. Okay. This should be doing 180, which is enough for the KO. Alrighty, guys, that was a very dicey game. Kind of had to think on our feet the whole time, but we got to pull off some really unique plays. And we really got to show off, you know, just how good of a deck builder Xander Pero is. You know, there's so many different options for this kind of a list that, you know, it can be kind of overwhelming trying to figure out what you need to do from turn to turn. But I think we navigated that quite well. And I'm pretty happy with that game. So yeah, guys, remember, if you do enjoy this kind of content, to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then go ahead and leave me that comment down below. And I will see you in tomorrow's video.